Hello, I'm Jonathan Dunsky, author of the Adam Lapid Mysteries. On this channel, I talk about crime fiction that I read and enjoyed, and today I want to tell you about A Cool Breeze on the Underground by Don Winslow. If you're a fan of crime fiction, you may already be familiar with Don Winslow. He's one of the most successful and inventive crime writers working today. And over the past few years, he has produced an impressive body of work, including epic crime novels such as The Cartel and inventive, imaginative novels such as Savages. A Cool Breeze in the Underground is Winslow's debut novel and the first novel in a short series featuring private investigator Neal Carey. Neal Carey, at least when we meet him for the first time in this book, is a graduate student of English literature. His dream is to become a professor and to continue to explore and investigate the writing of old dead classical writers from England. This is not a field of study one would normally associate with a person who is a private investigator. And Neal Carey is not your regular private investigator. It is not his regular day job. It is not something he does every day. What he is in the occasional employ of a detective agency called Friends of the Family. And this agency is run by a bank, a very exclusive and bank that serves people in high society. And in the history of that bank, the need for the occasional investigative work on behalf of the bank's clients arose, and so they created a small, exclusive detective agency called Friends of the Family, because this is a family bank. And Neal Carey became involved in Friends of the Family when he was a young boy. He lived in a broken home. His father was nowhere to be seen. His mother was an addict. So from an early age, he learned how to sustain himself on the streets of New York. And on one of these occasions, on one of these attempts at self-sustainment, he picked the pocket of a guy called Joe Graham. And Joe Graham is a private detective who is working for Friends of the Family. Joe Graham caught up with him, and in addition to the short and painful lesson that he taught him, he saw something in young Neal, and so he became a sort of father figure to him, educating him in the ways of private investigation, getting into places, tailing people, searching places without leaving track or any sign that you have searched them, and all sorts of these things. And in addition, because Carey showed great promise, this bank, Friends of the Family, started paying for his for a private school and teachers of elocution and stuff like that, and later for his college in which he is now enrolled. So when Friends of the Family call on Neal Carey to come and do a job for them, he can't really refuse or tell him that he's busy with tests and assignments and other things he would rather do. He flies to the headquarters, to where the bank is, to meet with the head of the family and to be given his assignment. And his assignment is this. One of the clients of the bank is a US senator who is on the verge of being nominated for vice president for the Democratic Party. The convention is in a few months, and the senator wants to portray an image of his family, just a healthy, united American family. And in order to do so, he needs to have his daughter Allie, his teenage daughter Allie, just around, I think, around the age of 18 or 19. He needs her to be in that picture and looking good and loving and all that. But the problem is that Allie has disappeared. She's run away, and Allie Chase has been a lot of trouble, or has brought a lot of trouble to her family for a long time. She has been with a lot of men. She has been doing very poorly in school. She's been on drugs, and now she's disappeared. And someone from her school spotted her in London and reported this to her family, and they are now asking friends of the family to send someone to bring her back, to find her in London, and to arrange for her return to the United States. And Neal Carey is that guy. So Neal Carey is sent to London, where he begins the search for Allie Chase. Now the novel is told, it has two time frames. There is the investigation that Neal Carey is now running, and there are flashbacks to Neal's childhood and his progressive education under the tutelage of Joe Graham. So you sort of get to jump between these two periods of time. And both of them are quite interesting, both the education that Carey gets and the way that he conducts his investigation. This novel is not as good or as impressive as Winslow's later work. What it is, though, is a very entertaining and quick and fast-moving detective story that has enough of, or has certain elements that are so different from other detective novels that it gives it a fresh and a fresh feeling and sort of a fresh light as well. So the Neal Carey being a graduate student of English literature, him being involved or working for a private detective outfit which is part of a bank, him having a sort of father figure or mentor in the form of Joe Graham, who does not accompany him to London. In London, he's basically on his own. So there's enough of this new stuff to make this seem fresh and original, and like nothing else that I've written. Even though I've read nothing else that I've read. I mean, even though that I've read a great deal of crime fiction. Now the investigation is interesting. The way that Carey goes about finding Allie and dealing with her and the people around her is fascinating. There are some twists and turns, a little violence, nothing too major, nothing too grisly. And you have this just entertaining and fulfilling novel that introduces a character that is easy to like and easy to follow along with, and is just fun to read. So I'll leave a link in the description below to where you can find a copy of this book. Let me know in the comments if you've read this novel or any other novel by Don Winslow, and tell me what you thought of them. If you enjoyed this review, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.